Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our May 20th, 2025 regular Board of Supervisors meeting. As customary, we're going to start off with a moment of silence. We're going to start out, I think we have two, and then I have one as well. So if you want to start out, go by all means, go ahead.
Thank you. This morning, first I'd like to ask for a moment of silence for Terry Sanderson. Terry William Sanderson, 63, passed away in March in Utah. Terry married Tina Stinnett on June 12, 1982, and together they shared over 4 decades together. Within those decades, his 2 daughters, Haley and Elizabeth, were born, and he loved being their father, coach, and protector. Terry spent the majority of his career working as a technician for Lake County Vector Control. While his primary job was to spray for mosquitoes, he also maintained the vehicle fleet, designed and built various structures, including a dock and a garage for the district, and basically did what needed to be done to keep the district running smoothly. He also enjoyed coaching his girls in soccer and softball and had recently gotten into RC crawling. He got to spend his final years of his life living with his grandchildren in Utah, and he cherished the connection they shared. Second, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence for retired Sheriff James Wright. Retired Lake County Sheriff James Wright passed away on May 7th, 2025. Sheriff Wright dedicated nearly 30 years of distinguished service to the Lake County Sheriff's Office and our community. He began his career in 1964 as a reserve officer and rose through the ranks to patrol sergeant, juvenile officer, and ultimately sheriff coroner in 1990. Throughout his career, Sheriff Wright was a passionate advocate for youth engagement and community programs. He launched the Explorer and Bicycle donation programs, both of which continue to leave a lasting impact. Even in retirement, Sheriff Wright remained deeply involved in serving Lake County, volunteering with the Office of Emergency Services and advisory committees focused on community well-being. Sheriff Wright's commitment, compassion, and leadership touched countless lives.
We said our farewells to 2 remarkable individuals, Brian and Rochelle Beeson, on Sunday, May 18th, 2025, at the Potter Valley Cemetery. Their contributions to the ranching, agriculture, and rodeo communities were profound. Brian Russell Beeson was born January 27, 1967, in Hillsburg, California. He was a true cowboy who dedicated his life to the ranching communities. He was known for his exceptional skills in gathering cattle, training horses, and making exceptional working cow dogs. Brian's love for the cowboy lifestyle was evident in everything he did. He passed away on May 1st, 2025, in an accident while doing what he loved most, out checking the cows. His wife, Rochelle Ray Bettinelli Beeson, affectionately known as Rocky, was born on July 19, 1966. She met Brian while up here at the Lake County Fair right here in Lakeport, and they married on July 30th, 1988. She shared Brian's passion for ranching, and while making their home in the Potter Valley, they raised 3 children, Blair, Raylene, and Chance. Rochelle passed away unexpectedly on May 11th, 2025, just 10 days after Brian. Many of us believe that she passed away of a broken heart. Both Brian and Rochelle were celebrated for their hard work, honesty, and dedication to the cowboy code. They embodied the spirit of the ranching community, and their legacy will live on through their children for many years. Their lives, many lives they touched. They truly were a remarkable couple, and their absence will be felt deeply in the Potter Valley and beyond.
All right. And I have one more. I have a moment of silence for Paul Higdon. He worked in our special districts department. I would like to offer a moment of silence to observe the untimely passing of Paul Higdon. Paul served as an electrical mechanical technician for Lake County Special Districts for 5 years. He was just shy of 35 years old and leaves behind his beloved family, including 3 young children. Paul's colleagues appreciated he always had a smile or nice things to say. He was crafty as well, once making a rose out of wood scraps and metal. His coworkers and management appreciated Paul's willingness to jump into any task and his hunger to understand new concepts. His family and community and the County of Lake family did not get enough time with Paul Higdon. He'll be missed. Vice Chair Rasmussen, can you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Move on to item 4, consideration of extra items not appearing on the posted agenda. None? Not hearing any, we'll move on to the next item. Approval of consent agenda. As you may know, consent agenda items are usually non-controversial. However, anybody from the Board of Supervisors or anyone from the public can pull one of these items for further discussion at a later time. Is there anyone on the board that would like to pull a consent agenda item
I would like to question something.
on the consent agenda?
Oh, no, never mind.
Okay. Anybody from the public that would like to pull something from the consent agenda item? Or from the consent agenda, sorry. Anyone on Zoom? No hands on Zoom. All right, we'll bring it back to the board for action.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda as proposed.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0-0. All right. Next, we have our timed items. First is 6.1, our public input items. If you have anyone from the public would like to come and talk about something that's not on the agenda, please come forward. You will have 3 minutes to speak about this, your concern. Just know that we will not be able to respond at this time. And so we'll go on from there. If there's anyone that would like to come up and say something on consent agenda, come on up.
Hi, I'm Mike Newdow, back for a third time on the Lucerne Castle. I just wanted to report that I got an email yesterday from Supervisor Crandall, and he has agreed to research the matter and check with County Council, and I appreciate that, so thank you very much. I did want to mention, the only reason I'm here today is that, and I think some people think that this is a private real estate matter and it doesn't belong before the supervisors, and I just want to say that I think this is perfect for the supervisors. You know, I made an analogy to, like, if you go to a restaurant and the environmental health says, hey, you know, we want you to pay $400,000 to do some testing, you know, or if I go to stay at a hotel and the tax collector says, okay, we're going to charge you $400,000 as a TOT tax, I think we'd all say that's ridiculous. Something needs to be done about that. And I see there's a difference. You may think that's a ridiculous analogy. And if you view it in terms of the fact that, you know, if you go to a motel or get food, it's a couple $100s. Whereas if you're doing real estate in a development, you know, talking hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars or tens of millions of dollars. So $400,000 doesn't seem like such a big deal. The way I'm looking at this is that there's no reason for me to be paying, or anyone who's buying this castle to be paying $400,000. It may be that I'm wrong and that there is justification, but I've been trying since January 29th when I had the pre-app meeting and the supervisor at Special Districts sat there and said, you guys are going to have to pay $400,000. I said, I'm not understanding why that is. This is existing sewer system. It's already connected. Where does that come from? And I've been trying ever since to get an answer, and I haven't gotten that answer. So to me, I think of it as all of a sudden some county agency saying, you have to pay $400,000. That, you know, that's no difference than if I had gone to a hotel or a restaurant or whatever. Why are you asking for $400,000? So I just don't, in case I'm being seen as a pain in the behind, I apologize, but I just think this is for the Board of Supervisors. So, and that's it. Thank you.
I think she answered an email to you as well, so I know.
Oh, I didn't see from her.
No, I mean, it was before, so just reminding you, because you said she didn't
Oh,
contact you.
she's answered, but I've asked for where's the justification to
Okay.
do this charge, and she's never given that. She points to things that don't answer that question. And
All right, thank you.
and I also had arranged with she told me to get a civil engineer in the sewer. I did, and I tried to get a three-way call, and she's never responded to that as well.
Thank you. All right. Any other public input? All right. With that, we'll move on to our next item, Bet of the Week.
So I'm Officer Real with Lake County Animal Care and Control. This is Mr. or AKA Tank. He is a 6-month-old Catahoula Hound mix is our best guess. I like to call them Lake County Specials because they can be mixed with anything and everything. He's up for adoption at our local shelter, obviously. And he's been with us for about 2 months. And he has a sibling that's housed with him in the kennel. So if you guys are interested in adopting, come on down to Animal Control. All right, thank you guys.
Made us smile today.
Good-looking dog. All right. Next, we will start on our 6.3 presentation of proclamation designating the week of May 17th through 23rd, 2025 as National Safe Boating Week in Lake County. Vice Chair Rasmussen will be reading this proclamation.
Is there anybody here for this proclamation? We have our sheriff who is in charge of our Marine Patrol.
The superintendent, sorry.
Yeah. A proclamation of the Board of Supervisors of Lake County designated the week of May 17th through 23, 2025 as National Safe Boating Week in Lake County. Whereas National Safe Boating Week is observed to bring attention to important life-saving information for recreational boaters so that they can have a safer, more enjoyable experience out on the water throughout the year. And whereas in the calendar year of 2024, the U.S. Coast Guard reported 564 fatalities in recreational boating accidents, which is a decrease of 11.3% from the previous year. 377 of these fatalities were due to drowning, and 319 of these boaters were not wearing a life jacket. And whereas the U.S. Coast Guard statistics show that drowning was the reported cause of death in 3 out of every 4 recreational boating fatalities, and that 87% of those who drowned were not wearing life jackets. And whereas Lake County Flotilla has continued to provide free life jackets to youngsters by participating in community activities which promote child safety and educating the boating public in safe boating practices. And whereas Flotilla 0808 of Lake County will continue its efforts to educate the boating public by resuming safety patrols, free life jacket safety checks, and to encourage boaters to practice safe boating habits and to wear life jackets. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of Supervisors of the County of Lake does hereby designate the week of May 17th through 23rd, 2025 as National Safe Boating Week in Lake County, and urges all users of Clear Lake, Lake Pillsbury, Blue Lakes, and Indian Valley Reservoir to safeguard their lives by wearing life jackets when boating and exercising safe boating practices and boating responsibility. Passed and adopted this 20th day of May 2025 and signed by our chair, E.J. Crandall. And I just also wanted to thank our sheriff's office who runs our Marine Patrol. And I know in addition to the Coast Guard auxiliary, they do a lot of safety and public outreach. And they're out there on the lake 365 days a year, maintaining safety for our public. So that's very much appreciated. Thank you. Sheriff, would you like to say anything?
I'd like to thank the board for bringing the proclamation and helping us with this. I think education is the most important thing. We have a lot of bodies of water in Lake County, a huge lake. We've had a lot of tragic events, and the more we can do to make sure that people are boating safely, the more we can prevent tragic events from happening on our lake. So appreciate all the support and from the board. Thank you.
Any other comments from the board?
I think it's important to have safety on our lake, not only for the individuals themselves. It's a tragedy if somebody dies from being swept up in the waves or falling out of a boat, or a boat having a bad situation of sinking or whatever the case might be. I know I've seen folks at Redbud where their boat went down and they were able to make it to the shore, but not all people are able to do that. There's times where we have whitecaps out there and there's a current, especially if the dam is open as well. And so I think that for the safety of the individuals, and also for one bad thing happens that reverberates and potentially impacts the amount of people that want to recreate in our lake as well. And so I think having these proclamations and the work that your Marine Patrol does is critical to making sure that people continue to use our lake in a safe way. So thank you.
It's wonderful to be able to let you guys know how much we appreciate you being out there and keeping our waterways safe and keeping our visitors and our public safe. So thank you for what you're doing.
Just considering the Catfish Derby this weekend, lots of white caps, you mentioned it, and big catfish. So, you got to make sure you're safe so the catfish don't pull you in, right? That too. All right. Anyone from the public? All right. All right. We'll bring it back to the board, take our picture.
Thank you.
All right, next is 6.4, presentation of proclamation designating May 31st, 2025 as Foster Parent Appreciation Day. Supervisor Pyska will be reading this proclamation, and if you're here for it, please come up.
All right, Board of Supervisors, County of Lake, State of California proclamation designating May 31st, 2025 as Foster Parent Appreciation Day. Whereas children are key to our community's future success, prosperity, and quality of life, and have a right to thrive, learn, and grow in a safe and loving environment. And whereas foster parents, including kinship caregivers, provide the love, safety, and stability that children need in order to overcome past traumatic experiences to reach their full potential And whereas Lake County foster parents are caring for and nurturing more than 89 children and youth in foster care today, and helping birth families heal and prosper so children can be safely reunified. And whereas Lake County foster parents help children transition from foster care to permanent homes through adoption or guardianship. And whereas we must come together as a community to recognize the important role foster parents play in caring for children who have experienced abuse and neglect, supporting family reunification and building strong communities. And whereas there is always a need for more foster parents in order to ensure children, especially older youth, children with complex needs and siblings, have a safe, stable home in their community. And whereas there are numerous individuals, nonprofit organizations, and public servants who are dedicated to raising awareness about the needs of children and youth in foster care, and whereas through partnerships with families, child welfare staff, and public and private agencies, there is a collaborative effort to ensure that children are supported and successful. And whereas Lake County joins the nation in specifically recognizing May 31st, 2025 as National Foster Family Appreciation Day in honor of the foster parents who act as true champions for the children in their care and are helping to ensure their brightest possible futures. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of Supervisors does hereby designate May 31st, 2025 as Foster Parent Appreciation Day, passed and adopted this 20th day of May, 2025, signed by our Chair of the Board of Supervisors, E.J. Crandall.
Sherry De La Torre. I'm the program manager over the Resource Family Approval Unit, and we certify the foster parents in Lake County. And I really appreciate the board taking the time to adopt this proclamation today. We at the county can never find time or way to adequately appreciate and thank our foster parents for all that they do. And so thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Rachel Dillman-Parsons, Social Services Director. Thank you, Board, for giving us an opportunity to recognize our foster parents and express our heartfelt gratitude for them. Foster parents provide a safe and nurturing environment for children in our care, and it is awe-inspiring. It's not just a job, it is a commitment to making a difference in the lives of vulnerable children, and foster parents embrace that with an open heart and open homes. Their willingness to share their lives, time, and love with children who may have not had those opportunities is something we're extremely grateful for. And they have a profound impact on children's lives, helping to heal past traumas and help those children grow into confident, resilient individuals. And if anyone out there listening is interested in becoming a foster parent, please reach out to us. We are always looking for more safe homes to support our children. Thank you, foster parents, for your selfless sacrifice and being champions of hope for the children in your care. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I just want to shout out to all the folks that are committed to being foster parents for our youth in this county, and I appreciate the work of Social Service Department in that area. Thank you.
So this is an annual proclamation, and every year this reminds me of our past colleague, Tina Scott. Also, to add to that list, I remember our prior Clear Lake Police Chief, Chief White, was also adding more foster youth to his family. And there are just certain individuals that have taken on a large task to helping what could possibly be the most vulnerable in our population. Typically, when we look at vulnerability, it's a loss of a social network, it's a loss of support, and I think that identifies those specific individuals in the foster care system pretty deeply. So very appreciative of those that are standout, and appreciative of all of the others just taking on the role of trying to help out the most vulnerable. So thank you so much. And thank you for your services as well, and making sure that they get the services they need.
I want to thank you for your all that you're doing for the kids, and I appreciate what you're getting the families out there to help with them. Thank you.
Ditto. But I do think it's just it's very special that, families will do this, the foster parents, because there's some kids that come from a really, really harsh life, trauma, and so they have to work through those, those symptoms of that. And it's just wonderful to see them come out of it and become, in a position to start, aspiring to their dreams. So it takes a lot of work, in between. I know it says 18 years, then they grow up and go to college. But in the meantime, that amount of trauma takes a lot more energy. We think about time, but energy it's like a different wavelength, because you have to deal with emotions. You have to deal with trying to ensure that they're not triggered by specific things, the children. So it takes a lot, and it's very special that families do this. So.
Well, I'm just going to have to brag then. Because my sister opened her family to a set of siblings and adopted them. And they've been in our family for well over a decade. And this last week, my niece graduated from LCOE's Certified Nursing Program, and my nephew is working for CAL FIRE at Boggs Helitech. And the two of them would not have the present and the future before them had my sister not taken them in as children at 7 and 8 year olds. And Helen knows them real well too.
I do.
So life-changing, and that's just a story of the impact that foster families have on our youth in Lake County.
All right, so I'll open it up to the public if there's anyone that would like to comment. I'll bring it back to the board, and we will take a picture.
Oh, this is good. Okay, great. Oh, I want to get this one right now. All right, let me make sure. I want to get Bruno in here a little bit better. There we go. Thank you so much.
All right. All right, so next on our agenda is 6.5, consideration for hearing on account and proposed assessment of abatement costs, 250 Lake Street, Nice, APN number 035375-25, property owner Pamela Hahn, and we have Community Development Director Maria Turner and Code Enforcement Manager Marcus Beltramo. And I think we got to present then swear in, or swear in then present?
Mr. Chair, it would be the swearing in of witnesses first.
All right.
Sorry. Not to my knowledge. No one contacted me.
All right. If you're here to provide testimony on this hearing and you're in Zoom, please raise your hand. Let me look. No hands in Zoom. All right. With your right hand raised, do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
All right. You ready? Okay. Good morning. My name is Marcus Beltramo. I'm the manager of the Lake County Code Enforcement Division. We come before the board here today to request approval of a lien related to an abatement that we performed for 250 Lake Street. One issue I do need to correct is the memo does reference that the 250 Lake Street address is in Nice, California. Correction, that is Clear Lake Oaks, California. Please. I'm sorry. All right. So that being said, we'll move forward with the hearing and account and provide the evidence and give you all the information that you need to make your decision. 250 Lake Street, this is in Clear Lake Oaks proper. It is a densely populated area. We did receive numerous complaints about this property, either through the online complaint system or through complaints through the neighborhood, or just complaints made through the community towards the Code Enforcement Division. The property owner has indicated by county records as a Pamela G. Hahn. The zoning for the property is an R1. The property is improved with two structures. There's a front structure and a back structure. Both of them are dwelling units. There is a default date. I'd also just like to add that this property is part of the upcoming tax lien sale conducted by the tax collector's office. So if the board does approve this lien here today, my first act will be to communicate and transmit this information to the tax assessor's office. Tax collector's office, to make sure that our lien is captured as part of the upcoming tax lien sale. So from between January 24, 2024 and September 2024, we took pictures of and documented the violations occurring on the property. From the photo here, what you see is a trailer full of trash. Trash is not permitted or allowed to accumulate on a property. Also, there's miscellaneous rubbish, trash, and items stored in open view that were also in violation of the county code. Storage issues have to be screened from public viewing just for education purposes. Trash is a health and a safety issue for our communities. Just different photos, you could see it's just everyday household trash and garbage items, miscellaneous items, tires, extension cords. The extension cords I don't believe were plugged in at the time. If they were, that would be another violation, but that's not part of our action that we took here. Here's a kind of a photo out from the behind. On the photo on the right, you can see bags of piles of trash and miscellaneous garbage behind the vehicle there as well. So any trash that accumulates on a trailer is a violation of the Lake County Code. So we issued a notice of nuisance and an order to abate along with a notice of violation. We cited a condition dangerous to human life, detrimental to public health or safety, the existence of garbage and rubbish, unsightly appearance, which is visible from a public right-of-way or neighboring properties, or provides harborage for rats or other vermin, or creates other health hazards or potential public nuisance. We also cited violations of the California Health and Safety Code, any nuisance that endangers the health or welfare of the public or occupants, and then accumulation of garbage or constitutes a safety or health hazard. The notice did provide for 30 days for the property owner to correct the violations, and it did provide a 21-day appeal period, which no appeal was received. As things developed, as the investigation developed, and as information was discovered, we determined the property did not have sufficient running water to the fixtures, so we did issue a red tag. The property, to my understanding, is still tagged to do not be occupied. It needs running water to be occupied, so that'll have to be turned on before any occupants can occupy the dwellings there. We did obtain a warrant, an inspection and abatement warrant. We moved forward with the abatement. The costs, we used 360 junk removal and hauling. The cost of the abatement was $800. Admin costs amounted to about $294.54 for a total lien amount of $1,094.54. So we're asking the board to approve our lien in the amount of $1,094.54. And if approval is granted, we will then take that information and transmit it over it won't go onto the auditor's roll, it'll go directly to the tax collector and so therefore it can be captured if the property is sold or there's a tax lien sale. If not, we would go through our normal processes and make sure the information is transmitted to the auditor's office so that they can make that part of their direct charges or a special assessment on the tax rolls. That concludes my presentation. Open to any questions from the board. And if you need any specific information, Code Officer Michael Herringshaw here, he handled the investigation. He's here to answer any questions that I might not be able to answer.
Any questions? Go ahead.
Did you at any time make contact with the residents?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay.
With the resident Pamela, who is a property owner, I contacted her. She told me the people staying in the house were squatters who weren't supposed to be there. However, they were also her family members. So after talking to her for a long period of time, that's when I decided to move forward with the abatement because she didn't have the means to remove the garbage herself. During the abatement, I discovered that the property had no water. After the abatement, we discovered the floors are very soft and actually have multiple holes in them now. So that's why the red tag was placed. I stayed in contact with Pamela throughout the whole thing, and she understands the process.
Okay, good. I had noticed that there was different cars and boats there at different times.
Yes, ma'am,
One of them was unregistered.
yes, there's been multiple vehicles there throughout this process, and that's typically what we see. Where these kind of houses, a lot of people kind of cycle through who's living there or who's staying there.
Okay.
currently.
And I'd just like to add, non-registered, or not having your vehicle properly registered is not a violation of the Lake County Code. If it's inoperable, wrecked, or dismantled, that would be the violation. If it's abandoned, we use the registration as circumstantial evidence to prove that the vehicle's been abandoned.
Yeah. No, it just looked like it had a flat tire.
Oh, a
Yeah.
flat tire, technically, we
Yeah,
could.
and that was fine. I just noticed that there was absolute activity with the boat being there, the two different vehicles. So, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, unorganized. Just two questions. One is for code enforcement. I guess it's more of a comment. I'm concerned about the lien.
Okay.
The tax sale starts in 10 days. It's going to take some time to get the lien on the books. This is going to hit the new property owner who purchases through potentially purchases through a tax auction, who then finds themselves with a new lien, not necessarily of their doing, but obviously you did the work. And so I'm trying to figure out what the right path forward is. Because I've seen the situations where property owners say, I thought I was free and clean. I paid all of the back taxes. I paid all the back liens, and suddenly something showed up because of the timing, and just concerned that in 10 days, that's not going to be able to be done without, and they're going to receive a property that is not free and clean.
So I've been in communication with the tax collector's office. I talked to Patrick Sullivan and some of his employees, his staff down there. We should be in a good spot here. They wanted to make sure that this was done before May 29th. The information is, if the board approves it, is immediately transmitted over so that lien will be captured and the tax lien sale. When the tax lien sells, the proceeds, the buyer makes the offer that they make. The proceeds are used to cover the lien. So it really would go to, in a normal case, it would go to the seller minus the lien amount. So in this case, the buyer really shouldn't incur a lien on this property when they buy it. It should be, for the most part, free and clear, and they shouldn't have to deal with that lien. The lien should be extinguished through the tax lien sale process, is my understanding. So I don't think that should be an issue, to my understanding.
Okay. If it can be done within 10 days to be on there for the May 30th, that works for me. I just wanted to make sure.
Now, the tax collector's office was very adamant in making me aware of this to make sure that we do it and get in there in a timely manner, so.
Okay. And then I don't think it's a problem, but I do want to check in with county council. I know it was mentioned that it said Nice, and I just hadn't really thought about it. It says Nice within the actual headline. Does that mean, is there an issue with it being incorrect in the header, in the sense that maybe folks from Clear Lake Oaks weren't aware and that wasn't appropriately posted? I know all of the filings for the notifications and everything looks correct. It does say Nice on the headline, and it does say Clear Lake itself in the memo, but everything else relates to Clear Lake Oaks. Just wanted to check in and make sure that
Yes, so that should be fine. Essentially, the error in the subject line of the memo is a typographical error that is now being remedied and fixed. The notices that went out that are required to be sent out pursuant to the Lake County Code does refer to the correct address. So that takes care of that from the property owner side of things. But yes.
that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, is there anyone from the public here to speak on this item? Which I don't think there is, because nobody swore in. All right, we'll bring it back to the board for action. It's in my district, so if someone can.
Mr. Chair,
I move that we approve the lien in the amount of $1,094.54 and direct staff to record the lien against the property with the Lake County Recorder's Office. After recordation, the lien shall be delivered to the county auditor, who shall enter the amount of the lien on the assessment roll as a special assessment.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. Go to, let's see, 7.2. Do you have another one on, I don't think you do on, I mean later, but I mean on non-timed. I thought maybe, no, we're good. Okay, we'll start out with 7.2 then. Consideration of the addition of special meeting for Tuesday, July 29th, 2025 to the board's annual meeting calendar. And so from what I understand, it's looking as if we're going to go ahead and schedule another meeting. I don't know if you care to elaborate there, ACAO? Okay.
The request for the extra meeting is related to some upcoming projects that are timely,
Okay.
and they won't be ready for an earlier meeting.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Open it up to the public if there's any comments or concerns about having another meeting. All right. I'll bring it back to the board for action.
I move that we approve the addition of special meeting for Tuesday, July 29th, 2025 to the board's annual meeting calendar.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. All right. Let's see, which one shall we do? Okay, 7.3. Consideration of the agreement between County of Lake and SY Psychiatry LLC to perform substance use disorder treatment medical director responsibilities on behalf of Lake County Behavioral Health Services in the amount of $350,000 for fiscal year 2025 and 2026. Director Jones?
Morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair, Board. I want to start out by confirming that this is a required element of our drug Medi-Cal organized delivery system plan, and also a significant reduction for this service compared to last year. Last year, we didn't fully, you don't know until you know the full scope of a body of work sometimes until you get into it. So we realize what our needs are. And it is also important to note that the majority of these services are reimbursed to us, with Dr. Singh receiving 65% of our fee-for-service Medi-Cal rate, which is our standardized pass-through across all contracted providers. Thank you.
All right. Any questions from the board? Supervisor Sabatier?
Just to reiterate what was stated, I know that I had concerns about the big ticket number from last year's contract with Dr. Singh. Obviously, very mandatory, necessary services being provided to support behavioral health's work. But the decrease from what was concerning last year, which was approximately $1.8 million to $350,000, is a very welcome decrease. So appreciate seeing the contract as is.
Any other comments? All right, I'll open it up to the public. Anyone from the public care to comment on this item? Hearing none, I'll bring it back to the board for action.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the agreement between County of Lake and SY. Just wanted I thought I was going to be corrected. I move to approve the agreement between County of Lake and SY Psychiatry LLC to perform substance use disorder treatment medical director responsibilities on behalf of Lake County Behavioral Health Services in the amount of $350,000 for fiscal year 25-26, and allow the chair to sign.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries 5-0-0. Let's see, 7.4, consideration of approval of temporary variance of ambulance ordinance 2687 to extend permits to December 31st, 2024. Director Arden is here, and I see, you all can come up. Yeah.
He was hoping it would be quicker than that.
It should be pretty. Well, don't say that.
Jinx it.
We're not allowed to use the other one.
I'm teasing. Yeah.
Good morning, Board. As you know, we're here to ask for the variance for the ambulance permitting. Last year, we, during EMCC, were working on the new revised ambulance ordinance. Plus, with some change of staffing, we fell a little behind. There was also a catch by legal counsel that we were operating on fiscal year and we're supposed to be operating on a calendar year. So therefore, we're asking for this variance so that we can go ahead and start issuing permits for the next 2 years.
All right. You have anything to add? No? Questions from the board? All right, I will open it up to the public for any comments or questions. Did I say the public or did I say the board? I thought I said public. All right, no one on Zoom? I'll bring it back to the board. Supervisor Sabatier.
Give me a chance, I'll find a question in there. Are we extending all permits, or are there some permits that are not being extended?
It's all permits.
Every single
All
one?
ambulance permits in our county, yes.
Okay, just wanted to check in to see if there were any changes.
All right.
So, ready for action?
Yes, and I think we just offer the ordinance? Or do we have to motion? Oh, yeah, sorry. I'll be quiet.
So it's essentially utilizing the current ordinance, the section of the current ordinance, so it would be by motion.
Oh, there you go. So, I'll be
With that, I'll move to approve temporary variance of ambulance ordinance number 2687 to extend permits to December 31, 2024.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 500. Thank you very much. All right. Let's see, we'll go ahead and do 7.5. Consideration of A, waiving the formal bidding process pursuant to Lake County Code Section 38.2 as it is not in the public interest due to the unique nature of goods or services. B, approval of agreement with American Financial Credit Services Incorporated for collection of unsecured delinquent property tax, authorizing the treasurer tax collector to sign. And we have Treasurer Tax Collector Patrick Sullivan here. Go ahead.
Good morning, Board. Thank you for the opportunity to present this item today. So this is a proposed agreement for the collection of unsecured property tax debt. At this point, there's many other counties that are using this type of service. It is considered to be a best practice. So we have a delinquency rate of about 15% on unsecured property tax. So this is an opportunity to try to grab some of that revenue, make sure that we're addressing businesses that are not paying their bills, getting everyone on an equal footing. I'm happy to explain anything about the contract or how the process would work. This is the first time the county would be using this type of service. It's similar to what we already use in our office for court-ordered debt. For probation and other criminal cases, we work the case first ourselves in our office. After certain benchmarks are met, if we're unsuccessful in collections, then it will go to outside collections. The difference this time is that we do have a backlog. Unsecured debt has not been a priority for the office for a while. And given our current staffing situation, especially we have recent developments where 2 staff members are going to be out on leave, that's going to put us effectively at a 30% vacancy next month. So I don't believe we have any ability in-house to work this backlog. I think we have the ability to work it going forward, but I don't think we have the ability to go into the past. So our plan is to provide the unsecured list to this vendor, who will then pursue collections in the same manner they have in other counties. So any questions, I'm happy to respond.
Supervisor Owen?
Yeah, I read through it. I could not find what percentage we're paying them.
So the county is not actually paying a fee on this. It's structured like a lot of other outside collections programs. There's a fee that's being added on, but that would be to the delinquent taxpayer. So
we don't lose any income.
We don't lose any income. The county would still be receiving the full amount, but if someone goes delinquent, that's where the vendor is essentially making their money, is that there's
Over
a
and above.
25% fee added onto it that the vendor's then going to collect along with what's owed to us.
Okay, I didn't find that. Thank you.
Supervisor Sabatier?
Yes, just a quick question, sorry. What is potentially the unsecured amount total?
So the current delinquent unsecured roll, what we have previously uncollected, is about 6.8 million. What I would really hedge on with that, though, is that is There's been no discharges from that list. There are businesses in there that have long closed. There are businesses where there's other creditors that would be in front of us. So the odds of us recovering any of those assets or money are low. So the further back in time we go, the less likely it is to collect these. So we're going to have to work with the vendor and come up with some sort of plan about how we're going to prioritize and what we're going to look at. And at some point, I expect a lot of that debt to be uncollectible. There's about $300,000 a year that goes uncollected and unsecured right now. So I think the other hope is that if we're more timely about pursuing it, we'll be more likely to recover.
So we just had a somewhat similar conversation with the auditor controller about some findings where fire districts, cities, special districts, and others need to kind of repay a clawback of sorts where money was provided but money needs to be taken back. Is there a plan? Once we send it out into the collections, let's just say one of our businesses gets hit and they get hit hard with tens of thousands of dollars or something. Is there a possible plan on how to not make that really, really hurt and allow for a flexible way to resolve this issue, since we haven't really been doing our part on an annual basis, but suddenly we might be asking for 5 years of payback of things that maybe they, who knows, were unknowns to them that they was owed and just kept doing business as if last year this was the way it was, so this year this is how I'm budgeting. Is there going to be some flexibility once it's in the hands of AFCS, or is it just strong collections and we're done and whatever hurts, hurts?
We actually have more flexibility with this program than we have in other areas. A lot of times with court-ordered debt, for instance, once we take certain steps for a bank levy to seize accounts or garnish wages, we can't just dial it back easily. With this vendor, we do have quite a bit of discretion, and we can indicate how far we want to go, whether we want to place liens on property, whether we want to go after a bank account. One of the things that I do want to do is I want to look at some of the higher value cases and not necessarily just immediately refer them out, so that we get a closer look at those. But I would say most of these folks, they should have been receiving notices every year. They should be aware of what's out there. There would be an opportunity for a payment plan. We have a great deal of discretion with unsecured. That was the problem with secured property tax, was that we have no or very limited discretion in what we can do. It's very much set by state law. In this area, we have significant discretion.
And I appreciate that, and I guess what I would say is please utilize that discretion. Times are hard for many of us, and if we don't have to hit somebody as hard, if it's possible to extend that. So if possible, looking for consensus to please utilize that discretion.
I would say I don't agree with that, because once you engage with a collector, you might get a response, but you're paying them to do that work to get them back into compliance and pay their bills. So, I mean, these people have been receiving bills for years and years and years and just not paying them. We're engaging this firm to do this work. We shouldn't have them do the work and then not allow them to get paid for it.
They're not getting paid. They're adding fees.
That's how they get paid, though.
But we're not paying them.
They're getting paid to do that work. They should be able to collect the fees.
Vice Chair, you were next.
How many years back does that 6 million go?
So there are debts in here that go back to the beginning of the megabyte system, which would be around 2002 or 2003. So because there's never been any kind of discharge here, I mean, it's my firm belief that a majority of this debt is uncollectible. But because it has not been worked before, we really don't know what is collectible out there. Generally, anything less than 10 years old is what's considered viable, because you can still place liens in a normal, effective way. Anything over 10 is very difficult, expensive, and time-consuming to pursue. So, that's something that's going to be up to us and the collections agency to evaluate. But at this time, we would anticipate authorizing payment plans. So our goal would be for everyone to get on a payment plan. That's our hope, or to pay up front.
Thank you.
Supervisor Owen?
Yeah, I believe that you had mentioned that in some cases they have not received notices in the past for monies due. I believe that you had made that statement, so I am kind of the mind of being flexible as well with them. And I know that in your contracts, you did mention that the company will be flexible and set up payment plans. And the big thing I can see is times have been hard over the last few years, especially with COVID, and some grace may be needed to keep some of these businesses in business under those circumstances, that for what they have went through over the last decade, the hard times, the economy. So I would think keeping these businesses in operational would be our first priority if possible.
If I could respond to part of that, yes, we can be flexible to, in a sense, with payment plans, but there is also a downside, especially for more recent debts. There's interest and penalties that accumulate the longer someone stretches it out. So while, I mean, we're very intentionally not coming after people hard on this, we would have the ability to immediately seize equipment, seize bank accounts. I mean, we're really trying our best to avoid doing anything like that and do payment plans. But I do just want to highlight that there is a danger in people stretching these payments out too long. It's going to increase what they owe in the end. So I think we want people to, I mean, a dream, they'd pay it off immediately, save themselves a ton of money. If they can't, we want to be flexible, but also the longer they stretch it out, the more penalties accumulate. So it's kind of a balance.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm going to open it up to the public if there's anyone that would like to comment on this agenda item. All right, I'll bring it back to the board. If there's any further discussion.
I mean, I've worked with collection agencies before, and people just don't pay their bill. They keep getting the bill, they get the bill, they get the bill, they don't pay it. You engage it with a collector, they're more aggressive, and then suddenly they want to pay their bill. So we need to make sure that that collector is able to get the fees so that their time is covered. Otherwise, why are we bringing them on?
I am not looking for flexibility to decrease anything, just flexibility for, like we've been discussing, potential payment plans, which that's their choice if they get added interest or not. But they should be paid. If something is due, something is due. It should be paid. It shouldn't be wiped off. But we also didn't do our part for a very long time to follow up. And so I think that flexibility in hard times is okay, as long as we're not cutting the bill.
Go ahead, Ben.
I would just add that while we are trying to offer flexibility, really none of those options are coming off the table. We have discretion to a point, but at some point, if someone's not working with us,
of course,
we still have to go after whatever assets and funding we can. So we can give people quite a bit of leeway in terms of giving time to get back to us, time to set up an arrangement. But at some point, we also aren't allowed to ignore the fact that we can recover from someone if they aren't cooperating.
Thank you for explaining that. To me, that gives me the impression that you have an opportunity to give some leeway. So for me, that I'm fine with as is. So, but all good discussion, and so I'm just looking for action from here.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to waive the formal bidding process pursuant to Lake County Code Section 38.2, as it is not in the public interest due to the unique nature of goods or services. Can I do both, or should that be separate?
Oh, we have to do one, right?
It can be done separately.
Okay.
Okay.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
And B, I'll move to approve the agreement with American Financial Credit Services Incorporated for collection of unsecured delinquent property tax, authorizing the treasurer tax collector to sign.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
We're going to go ahead and take a 5-minute break and then come back for the item 8, sitting as the Board of Equalization, and do some assessment appeal hearings. So I'll see you in 5 minutes. All right. I'm ready, Sam.
What number are we on?
8, or 10 a.m. And we'll be sitting as the Board of Equalization Assessment Appeal Hearings, and we'll start with 8.1, consideration of withdrawal for the following assessment appeal applications. A, number 01-2024 Lower Lake Holdings, and B, 11-2024 Shaw Investments, and C, 12-2024 Bellig, and D, 14-2024 Lakeshore Drive, and E, 16-2024 Davita, and F, number 13-2024 Lisa Shannon, and G, number 17-2024 Maldonado. And we have Dave here, Dave Schwinger, and Linda. All right.
I'm Dave Schwinger, the Assistant Assessor. I gave just a quick thing of notes. We did talk to everybody on the agenda, so everyone responded that they were intending to follow through on their assessment appeals, in which case we work with them. These were ones we were explaining what the situation was and getting more detailed for them, and they all withdrew. So
County Council,
Yes, so to, just as a preliminary matter, your board may want to take and swear in any witnesses who may need to testify, even under this item number for withdrawal.
All right. If you're here in Zoom, raise your hand in Zoom if you're here for assessment appeals. And I'm not seeing any hands. So everybody else with your right hand raised, do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for that formality. All right. So you did explain, and then you said you talked to everybody, and then we have a couple documents in front of us.
Correct. And those, and the second document I just included, we always refer to the property tax rules. So I just gave you an index of what they are.
Okay.
And that's what we have to follow, and the board has to follow for the assessment appeals. The first rule is just very basic. These are the rules, and they're governed by the assessor and the Assessment Appeals Board and all division of property tax. And then all the rules are basic on how we do the valuations.
All right. Anything else to add? Nope. All right. Any questions from the board about it? And when we're discussing all A through G, all in one, okay. And so if there's nothing, I'll open it up. If there's anyone on Zoom or anyone in the public that's here on this item.
This isn't, the
we don't have to
assessment
do
appeals
that,
is
yeah.
not subject to the Brown Act.
All right.
So you're a quasi-judicial board.
All right.
Public opinion is only at the beginning.
And Mr. Chair, you may just want to double check to see if anyone, depending on who was sworn in, would want to testify on this item.
Okay. And I know there's no one in the chambers. And is there anyone on Zoom that may have? All right. Well, thank you for that. And so it looks like we'll go from there. Supervisor Sabatier?
I was just ready to make a motion.
We'll go ahead.
And County Council, could I do all A through G in my one motion, or do we have to do individual?
You can do A through G.
Okay. I move to withdraw the following assessment appeal applications: number 01-2024 Lower Lake Holdings, 11-2024 Shaw Investments, 12-2024 Bellig, 14-2024 Lakeshore Drive, 16-2024 Davita, 13-2024 Lisa Shannon, and 17-2024 Maldonado.
I second that.
Mr. Chair, sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
Apologize. And as part of that motion, your board may want to consider adding and deny the appeal for each of those application numbers.
And deny the appeal.
All right. I still have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And it looks like we'll move on to our 8.2, consideration of stipulations for following assessment appeals. A, number 10-2024 NAU, and B, 18-2024 through 21-2024 Stryker. Dave.
And Mr. Chair, just as a overabundance of caution, you may want to check also to see if there's any witnesses or anyone willing to testify.
Is there anyone here that is here to testify or discuss this, or? No one, none in Zoom? All right. Dave.
Okay, so we came to two of the assessment appeal to be reduced. The first was a lakefront property. This is 10-2024. And so by the property tax rules, one of the property tax rules in Rule 324 gives you a time period. So we can't go past 90 days past the lien date, which was January 1st, 2024 for this assessment appeal. And so we accepted their value with their comparable sales of $800,000 for the property. Then in June of this year, or last year actually, the property two doors down sold for $1.15 million, which was larger and a little bit better. When we did the adjustments on their sales grid, said, well, yes, we're reducing it down to $800,000, but the next year it's coming back up to $950,000. So you get, for on these properties, it's a for right now, it's a perpetual Prop 8, meaning market value is going to go up and down. Your base year value, what you purchased the property that goes up 2%, is above. So they are keep climbing up. The second stipulation that we have was for Morgan Ranch Road LLC. The applicant has been trying to sell the property since 2002. Which they originally listed the property for $1.5 million, consisting of 4 parcels. These have vines on them that have not been maintained and not been harvested. In the beginning of January of 2024, the property was reduced, the listing, to $1.1 million, which it currently is today. For the sales price, this value is actually below the factored base year value. So we stipulated on reducing the value to below the asking price for their taxable value for the 2024 year. Since the vines were not maintained and in poor condition, we just reduced the vine value till we reached a value of $1,050,000, and that's the stipulated value.
All right. Any questions? Any hands in Zoom, just in case someone came in at the last? All right. Looking for action then.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the stipulations for the following assessment appeals: 10/2024 now, 18/2024 through 21/2024 striker.
Second.
And deny the appeal? No, okay.
For stipulations, there's no.
Okay. All right, so I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. All right. So now we will go back into the next item that we have is 7.1, it looks like, until we have our timed item, right? And we will be going back in as the Board of Supervisors, sitting as the Board of Supervisors, and until we don't have a next item on the regular agenda for timed until 11:30, and then another at 1 p.m. So who would like to start with their calendars?
I can.
All right. Supervisor Owen.
Okay. So last week, at the end of the week, I went to the California State Rodeo Finals for junior high, and I'd like to announce that we do have a state champion goat tire from Jessica's district. She lives on Cobb. And I forgot, it's Lexi, but I didn't look up her last name, so I'm so sorry. And she actually rides with us. My daughter's her coach. We also have, coming up this week, I have Middletown Luncheon Club tomorrow where I am going to be speaking, and that'll be at noon. And then I've got to rush up to the Blue Ribbon Committee meeting from 1 to 4 in Clear Lake. On Thursday, I have the Judges' Breakfast at 7. After that, I'm meeting with our Lake County Visitor Center Chairman, which is Amanda Martin. Following that, I have a meeting at Middletown High School with Jeff Crane and Gina Weiss, which is the Middletown and Canocti Career Advisor, and a rodeo meeting, Middletown Rodeo meeting at 6 p.m. at my place. On Gina Weiss, yeah. Weiss, I'm so sorry. Weiss, correction. Yeah, she won't let that go. Okay, thank you. On Friday, I have a graduation for my grandson at 10 a.m. We have a team roping jackpot at my place at Owen Ranch at 6 p.m. It's going to be a long Memorial Day weekend, and I'd like to recognize our veterans with that. So Friday night at Owen Ranch, we have a jackpot. Saturday evening, we have a 40 open barrel race along with a Vegas toughest that starts at 6 p.m. Time only is at 4. We have the Lower Lake Days Parade on Sunday and an all-day rodeo at Owen Ranch along with the Vegas toughest on Sunday starting in the morning. Veterans Day Memorial Service at the cemetery in Middletown. I'll be there speaking on Monday morning and finish up our rodeo for the weekend. And then I'll be back here at our special meeting on Tuesday.
That special meeting is next week?
No, July.
Oh, that's in July.
Oh, July. I am so sorry. I put that down
I
wrong.
was worried
Thank
for
you.
a second. I was like, wait, we didn't.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a special meeting for this week. I am so
Oh, no,
sorry.
You're good.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Go ahead, Vice Chair.
Last week, I attended the Red Cross Lakeport office
Did you?
grand opening. Supervisor Owen was there as well. I was out Scotts Creek Road investigating a complaint out there and actually took Luca Moretti with me out there because some of that road area is adjacent to the federal BLM land. Also attended Hold Fire Safe Firearms Storage presentation and meeting over at Frick Hall. It's being organized by our behavioral health in conjunction with the Veteran Affairs. Attended BVAC meeting with Supervisor Pyska last week. Also Emergency Medical Care Committee and Interfacility Transport meetings. I attended the Tribal Advisory to the Museum Board meeting. They were talking about updates on the Pomo family statue that's expected to be installed early next year. I had a meeting with Public Services up on Mount Canocti, looking at some of the infrastructure and the parklands up there. I had a tour of Ester Formula, which is a manufacturing facility that makes these supplements and vitamins out here near the airport, the old Workrite building. They're in operation for that, and they have an application in for another major use permit for expansion. I attended a Coal Creek Advisory meeting with Supervisor Pyska. Had a lunch event with the Lakeport Mayor and the Lakeport Police. I attended the Andy Weiss Memorial for a little bit down at Soparis last Friday, and then went to the First Responder Memorial at Museum Park. On Saturday, attended the class of 26 of Kelseyville High breakfast benefit. Went to a fundraiser for a dog animal nonprofit that was raising funding for spay and neuter programs. Attended the Small Farms Tours in Big Valley, and then the Historical Society annual picnic. Attended Lake County Children's Council meeting, covered for Supervisor Sabatier last week. I met with the Registrar of Voters, trying to learn more about that operation. And thank you, Vice Chair, for the invite. I attended the Bloody Island remembrance or forgiveness ceremony.
Sunrise Forgiveness Ceremony.
Sunrise
You got it right.
Forgiveness Ceremony. And that's the first time I had been. That was, it was emotional, impressive ceremony, so thank you. Had Scotts Valley Community Advisory meeting last night. I'm going to attend the Lakeport City Council tonight. I went to the last Animal Control Advisory Committee meeting. I felt it was important that, a supervisor attend that once in a while at least, and they haven't met for over a year, and they're just getting reorganized, and I've worked with County Council to get them some Brown Act training next month, so I would encourage another supervisor maybe once in a while to check that out. I think that would be helpful. Tomorrow, I'll be at the LAFCO meeting and then the Blue Ribbon Committee meeting down in Clear Lake. I plan to try to stop into the Planning Commission meeting. There's a project in the city that they're hearing for some lake use items tomorrow. And then also have a solid waste task force meeting Thursday. I guess Planning Commission's Thursday too. And then I plan to stop by the Klaus Park last meeting over in Chair Crandall's district on Thursday. And I was also asked to be guest speaker at the Clear Lake Oaks Glen Haven Business meeting that same evening on Thursday down in District 3. And then just numerous Memorial Day events that I'll be attending over the coming weekend. Thank you.
I'll go.
Go ahead.
Tomorrow I have LAFCO. I have an interview for final disaster task force report, and that's the NACO task force that I'm on, and we are meeting with several of the Lake County partners to give an update on the work that we've been doing here. RA Biomass Subcommittee meeting, and Thursday, Best Fits Grants meeting. Thursday, IBHS meeting with the Michael Newman, who I testified with, and CAL FIRE. And then Middletown Rancheria UC Extension MOU signing, which is really exciting. So I'll be out at the Rancheria all afternoon Friday. And then I have a pancake breakfast Sunday. I guess I'll stop there.
Supervisor Sabatier?
Yeah, starting with LAFCO, tomorrow, I believe, that was probably canceled. A meeting with faith leaders from the city of Clear Lake to discuss some potential safe parking possibilities for our unsheltered folks, seeing if we can use some of that $1.5 million to create that, so that we're looking all around the lake to provide that rather than just one location. I'm going to pop in at the Blue Ribbon Committee for the Green Water Services presentation, see how that goes. Starting Thursday at Judge's Breakfast, Lake County Solid Waste Task Force. I am going to have to cut out early. I'm having a conversation with Behavioral Health and RCS to again see if there's the possibility of expanding services at the North Lakeport Shelter, which might include safe parking. And then I will make sure to be at Austin Park at 12 o'clock for the Build graduation. And I'll stop there as well.
All right. So last week, I'm not sure if anyone's familiar, but there was a wildfire in the District 3 area right behind Robinson Rancheria. It was about 4 acres or so. And so it was right in the middle of the TIPO meeting, and it took place. I thought it was prescribed. Terry had said, she texted me and said, did you see watch duty? And I was like, yeah, I think it's prescribed, but it wasn't. So anyhow, it got put out really quickly. I think one of the most interesting things that I seen was when I went up with Chief Duncan, I seen some of the dry grass that it singed through, but then there was still green, wet grass that it still traveled through. So just know that just because we recently had rains doesn't mean it won't go through that. And I know a lot of people know that. I'm just saying that also for other folks, because I know these get started by people that are grinding or lawn mowing. A spark can catch something that's dry and then just catch that fuel and move forward. So really key to be cognizant of fire season, and make sure you have everything around you. Make sure you have water sources. Make sure you wet the grass if you're going to do something like that. Make sure you know if it's even allowed to be done at the specific time. So I wanted to highlight that. Then I want to say I went to the Mendocino College Native American Motivational Day last Friday and spoke to some kids about higher education. And then following that, went to the forgiveness sunrise ceremony. It usually starts on Friday. There's like a dinner in the evening, and so that went over there to volunteer and help. I wanted to get to the first responders, but I had too much going. We ended up moving and doing I had to go get some emergency water that wasn't in place there. So I was like, okay, because they do a fire. And so again, like I said, we got to have water, a water buffalo there or something like that. So got that all set up. It was a good event. I really enjoyed having the capability on Friday evening to speak to some folks who there was a traditional dance simultaneously, and as we were setting up, there were some folks that were there that said, I don't even really know what happened. So I was able to give like at least 25 people sitting in the area where the dinner was going to happen within the next hour and a half, and kind of just give like a quick history version of what took place, and then answer questions about it. And a lot of them had no clue, even though they live in Lake County. So it was really helpful to just give that insight and talk about some things, and then just even the history and the tribe in general. And so it was really, and I think that's the most important thing about events like this is giving, education to folks from on the lands of the area, giving the actual names of the lands that we use and things like that. So that I really felt good about that. The morning there was quite a bit of people there. Supervisor Sabatier and Vice Chair Rasmussen were there, and it was really cool. It was really good. It was kind of windy, so that was the other thing. That's why the water buffalo was there for the fire and whatnot, and wanted to make sure because they walk at like 4 o'clock, 4:30 over from the dance grounds to where the old landmark is, right next to where the island would be. And so I immediately stayed back and put out the coals because I was like, it was really windy, as you both know. So yeah, it went well. They had a breakfast right following that over at the conference centers, and that was that. But then I trucked right over to the Catfish Derby and was hanging out there with some folks. That was a really fun event to be at, seeing the kids pick up their fish, and then seeing some folks that didn't want to touch the fish. And I'm like, that little kid picked that fish up. He didn't have no problem with it, I seen Luke there, Sheriff, and DA Cronus. And so, yeah, it was a really, really fun event to attend. I had some oysters, hung out, spoke with people, things like that. So was dog tired after that, so I went home. But so this next week we have, I have North Shore Business, I think, is on Wednesday. I'll double check that. Usually it's the third Wednesday. Then I have the West Region Town Hall in the evening. Thursday is Clear Lake Oaks Glen Haven Business Association. I'm glad that you'll be there to speak. That's pretty cool. And yeah, I was with them. That's who held the actual Catfish Derby. So yeah, and I told them I'd be there with you. And it was really cool. Also, just a side note, just seeing all the people, despite the water being very windy and all the water being choppy, there was people out there, on the side of the highway, on the side of the shorelines, fishing and whatnot. That was really cool to see. But so after Klogba, I think Friday, what do I got? I think we're there. Let me see. I got there's the MOU signing. There's graduations too, though. So I'll be heading over to some graduations. And then also, I know they have one at Mendocino College Friday as well. We don't meet next week, so I know there might be something Tuesday, but I'll double check. But I know for sure we have on the 28th at Soper Reese, we have the Potter Valley Project Town Hall. Thanks, Chamber of Commerce, for putting that on. So we'll be having that. And there's a dump day Saturday, May 31st at the Moose Lodge in Clear Lake Oaks. So if you're listening, please, by all means, anyone in Clear Lake Oaks, please bring your garbage to the Moose Lodge so they can get that loaded up and we can get more garbage out of the hills of Clear Lake Oaks and out of the area. I know there's some spots, Spring Valley, Double Eagle. And also, when you take that turn, I don't know the road. There's a little road. I got to memorize it. But people like to dump there when you go over towards Clear Lake. You might know it. I don't remember. But it's on your side, by the way.
Junction Road?
Yeah. I just like to point out it's on your side. It's a standing joke when I ride with people. They're like, hey, you got garbage. I was like, that's Bruno's side. off Highway 20. So I'll leave it at that, and it looks like we're at 10:30. Is there something else we should cover?
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. So, matter just came to staff's attention this morning that may warrant your board's consideration of an extra item. And so the first step procedurally would be for your board to move to reopen agenda item number 4, which is the consideration of extra items not appearing on the posted agenda with public comment. And I could give you some general references, even for purposes of just, the motion to reopen for your board's consideration. And so it is a closed session matter, and just for your board's own reference, the caption to be placed in closed for this extra item that's in closed session, that part is, of course, public information, and that the caption would be Public Employee Evaluation, title, Animal Care and Control Director.
Okay.
And so that, as I've stated, the matter just came up this morning that would warrant staff's request to your board to take this as an extra item, not appearing on the posted agenda since it came up after the posting of the agenda. But as I stated, first step for your board's consideration is to reopen agenda item number 4 and take public comment to that as well.
All right. So with that, is there anyone who'd like to? Do we got to discuss it first?
Your board may, and then take public comment just for this first step of just reopening agenda item number 4.
All right.
I don't have a problem reopening.
No problems. All right. I'll open it up to the public in case no hands in Zoom. I'll bring it back to the board for action.
So moved.
Second.
So I have a so moved to open up,
reopen
agenda item 4. And so all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So we're now at agenda item 4?
Yes.
4.1 it would be considered, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So as I stated, this matter came up after the posting of the agenda, literally this morning. And so for your, at least to my attention this morning, but it did arrive, staff did receive it after the posting of the board's agenda. I stated the closed session, it is a closed session item that this extra item refers to. And as I've stated before, the caption for that would be Public Employee Evaluation, title, Animal Care and Control Director. And there is a need to, staff represents to your board that there is a need to take immediate action, which came to staff's attention after the agenda was posted. So again, public comment for this, to them, the proposed motion for your board would be to approve taking the item up as an extra item as it came up after the posting of the agenda.
Okay. I make that motion.
Well, let's open it up to the public real quick if there's no other comments. Anybody from the public would like to comment on adding this to the agenda? None. So I'll bring it back to the board, and you made a motion.
I did.
Second.
Stated.
So I have a motion and a second to add 4.1 to the agenda for the reasons stated by County Council. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And so we need to do that in closed session, right? And so shall we do a couple more in closed session as well? Like, should I read some of those off since we're going into closed session?
Your board may just make the announcement when it's time to take up the closed session items. I believe at this point, unless your board is willing to go into closed session now.
We don't have anything else on the agenda open until 11:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's see. I know that there's some of these are at specific times. So 2:30, and then would 9.2 and 9.3 be something we can cover as well? So I'll read off 4.1, or I'll let you state 4.1 one more time, and then I'll read off 9.2 and 9.3.
So extra item under the agenda, 4.1, which is also a closed session item, that would be Public Employee Evaluation, title, Animal Care and Control Director.
All right, so with that, we have also 9.2, Conference with Labor Negotiator, Negotiator Carlos Torres, County Negotiators Susan Parker, Stephen Carter, Casey Moreno, Pam Samick, and Diana Rico, and B, employee organizations, LCDDAA, LCDSA, LCCOA, LCEA, LCSEA, and LCSMA. 9.3, employee grievance complaint pursuant to Government Code Section 54957. With that, we'll go into closed session, and we will open back up in time for our I had it, 6.6 item at 11:30. So with that, we'll go into closed session. All right, we're coming back from closed session. Vice Chair, was there any action to be taken out of closed session?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move to extend the effective date of the resignation of the Animal Care and Control Director to June 30th, 2025.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Next, we will go to our timed item, 6.6, public hearing. Consideration of appeal PL 25-22, AB 24-06 of the Planning Commission's approval of major use permit UP 23-05, an initial study, IS 23-10 for the Ag Forest Wood Processing Bioenergy Project located at 755 East State Highway 20, Upper Lake, California, APN 004-010-04. Appellant Larry Kahn continued. There's a request to continue to June 17, 2025 at 1 p.m. I will give the floor to Community Development Director Maria Turner.
Thank you.
Oh, 1 second. Sorry.
Mr. Chair, your board may want to take in any, even if it's effectively a request for continuance, your board may want to swear in any witnesses who may want to testify pursuant to this public hearing under that request.
As of right now, should I do the, okay, so we'll have to swear everybody in real quick, Johanna. So if you're here on behalf of this item, if you want to speak, please swear. We're going to do a swear-in.
Yeah, if you're going to give any comment or testimony today, please stand up and raise your right hand. And if you're in Zoom, raise your hand and I will unmute you. Hold on. Okay, I'm unmuting the people in Zoom. All right. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Mireya Turner, Community Development Director. The department did receive a request from the appellant's representative for a continuance. While reviewing that request, we came to the conclusion that we actually do support that request. And so staff requests a continuance of this item to June 17th at 1 p.m.
So I fully support staff's recommendation to continue to a later date. The project has a lot of information that I think colleagues might want to look into and digest. And it's in my district, so I'm just giving that's where I stand. You don't have to if you don't want to, but that's my stance. Would like to.
I support that.
But we do have to open it up to the public. If it's supported to that aspect, if you're going to comment, we will comment solely on the continuance. Lloyd, do we have to decide that first before we open that up, or do we open it up to discuss that and then move from there?
Well, what's before your board as far as a recommendation is just a request for a continuance. So your board has the discretion to set the parameters of public comment on that issue.
All right. Supervisors Tues.
And I appreciate your question because just so the public is aware, I'm in support of the continuance. Historically, we have offered continuances when there's a need for further responses or further clarification of information. And so in support of it as well, so that the public knows this is the conversation to have is the continuance, not the project.
Vice Chair.
Thank you. And based on my review of all the documents regarding the request for the continuance, I am in support of that as well.
Right. With that, we'll open it up to the public, and our only discussion at this time is whether you support moving forward with the continuance or you're not in support of the continuance. We will only be talking about that and not the project per se. If we do continue it, which looks like more likely we will do, on June 17th is when we will discuss everything else about this project that's been submitted or whatever else. So right now, if you're coming up from the public, the only thing we're talking about is continuance or no continuance. So with that, I will go ahead and open it up to the public. If you'd like to come up and speak, you have 3 minutes to speak and just give us that insight.
Good morning, Supervisors. My name is Thomas Jordan. I am staff of the Scotts Valley Energy Corporation, the applicant for this particular major use permit. I formally ask that your commission or that your supervisors not honor the request for a continuance. As you will read in your packet, the Planning Commission had 2 opportunities to review this, both in October and their final action in December. That's 5 months ago. In February, at a Western Region Town Hall meeting, one of the appellant representatives indicated that they were seeking legal advice at that point in time. In March, at the same meeting, a month later, that appellant indicated that they had retained legal counsel. That would indicate to me that they've had more than 60 days to consider the application and prepare a presentation for your supervisors today. So based upon the time frame that it is, I noted in looking at my application that we started this process back in May of '23. We are now 2 years into a process of trying to get a facility either up or down, decision made. And I am very concerned that we continue this with the idea that there is no definite time frame in which a decision would be made. So I would request that you formally reject the request for a continuance and hold the appeal hearing today. Thank you very much for your consideration.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public?
Good afternoon. Well, good morning, Chair, Vice Chair Crandall, members of the board. Having gone through an appeal once before, I do support, in this case, the continuance of an appeal. The agenda item is confusing. The way it's worded, it sounds like a continuance was already decided upon and it has affected the number of participants in the audience. I don't think securing counsel should be a cause for making a decision whether the people have had plenty of time. These are very complicated cases. You probably have a plethora of information in front of you, and I think it's worthy that you have the time to make those decisions. I, again, support the request for continuance. And as far as the argument that it be a time uncertain, it seems like it is a time certain, June 17th. So it's not that far away. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Barbara Morris, and thank you for your support of our request for continuance, Myrea. Our attorney, her letters had just reached you today. For some reason, they weren't passed forth. Previously, that was written on May 13th. Her request for documents from the county, her PRA request, was never fulfilled, and we're still waiting for documents. And for that reason, we feel like we need more time to review the documents that will be forthcoming. And finally, we do have new information that the original funding agreement with Department of Water Resources, California State Department of Water Resources, has not been fulfilled by the county. And there are quite a few items in this land agreement, this funding agreement, that the county has failed to follow through on. So we had to report that to the Department of Water Resources, and their legal department is looking at it right now. If these conditions had been met, we wouldn't be here talking about this right now. One of them was a conservation easement on the land to protect it from further development. And that was supposed to happen right after the land was purchased in 2015. Never happened. The wells were supposed to be capped. That never happened. And you were supposed to get permission from the state before you lease this land. We requested that permission, a copy of that. It was never given to us. So for that reason, because DWR is looking into this matter, and it'll take a little time for them to figure out what's going on, we would request a continuance on this matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Anyone that swore in? Anyone from Zoom?
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the board. This is Marcia Birch. I'm the representative of Larry Kahn and some of the other neighbors. I won't belabor the points. I think that Ms. Morris just presented some of the most compelling reasons to continue this, and also the Public Records Act requests. I do want to clarify that staff that did assist me with the public records request, they were working with a computer program that was maybe not functioning as anticipated, and they really did the best they could. And I understand that County Counsel's office isn't typically involved in Public Records Act request responses. So I did want to recognize that they really did try to locate records, and I think are still working on it. They just haven't been produced yet. And that first request was submitted on March 14th. So it was shortly after I was engaged by the appellant. And if you have any questions for me, board members, Chair, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you. Tara?
Hello?
Go ahead, Tara.
Thank you. My name is Tara Morris, and I would like to ask that the continuance this item be pushed and continued to June 17th. We have provided the Board of Supervisors with a lot of documents, and I believe it shows how complicated this issue is. And we've spent months trying to look through all of the different documents and the different project descriptions, which differ based on whether it was for NEPA, the Funding Act, the funding application, CEQA, or the permit application. None of those things align perfectly with each other, and we've tried to detail some of the discrepancies in the letters we've written. And we would like to give the Board of Supervisors more time to review all of the documents and the evidence that we've provided about this very important and complicated matter. So we would appreciate if a continuance until June 17th was granted. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on Zoom? All right, at this time, I'll close public input and bring it back to the board. Lloyd, is there anything else we need to?
Just for your board's consideration, the request for the continuance, and that can be approved by motion.
And Director Turner, is there anything else to add, or okay with that?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the continuing the public hearing to a date and time certain on June 17th, 2025 at 1 p.m.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0-0. We will see you on that date, June 17th at 1 p.m. To continue this item. Thank you very much. With that, it looks like we're at 11:51. Our next item is at 1 p.m. And so we will go to our lunch break. Let's be back here at about 11:55. 12:50. Oh, I'm sorry, 12:55. Thank you, Bruno. Lloyd, did you say? Oh, you were saying the same thing? All right.
We could do a 4-minute lunch.
Oh, no. All right, welcome back, everyone, from the lunch break. We're going to go ahead and move into our 6.7, our 1 p.m. consideration of a Veterans Mission presentation facilitated by Rick Mayo, Vice President of the We Serve Veterans Incorporated, to include remarks from Lake County Veteran Services organizations and military funeral honors recognizing Lake County veterans who were killed in action. And I sponsored this item as well to assist with Rick in any way, shape, or form. He had everything pretty much lined up, so all I am is a name put on the agenda. He did all the work. So thank you, Rick. And so I just want to thank you all for gathering and coming to join us here. This item will also include presentations of plaques to our board as described in the memo attached to our agenda. It is a true privilege for our board to host this historic presentation, and we honor all who have sacrificed placing country before self. The presentation will begin in these chambers, and we will conclude by moving to the front of the courthouse steps for a Department of Defense authorized military funeral ceremony in honor of Lake County's veterans killed in action. Thank you to all who worked to make this item possible. Prior to commencing the presentation, we invite public comment in the chambers and in Zoom. And so with that, I think we open it up to Rick briefly, and then we'll see if there's anyone from the public that would like to say anything before we commence outside. So Rick, go ahead, sir. There you go.
Thank you to the members of the Board of Supervisors, Mr. Chair, and the rest of the board.
One second, Rick. He's going to come fix it.
There we go. There you go. Oh, okay. Work better when the button's on.
There we go.
Again, I'd like to thank the Board of Supervisors, Mr. Chair, for hosting this event and making this event possible. And I'd like to also thank Mr. Rothstein and Ms. Johanna DeLong, along with the City of Lakeport Police Department and the City of Lakeport for helping us to make this event possible. I'd like to introduce our veteran chaplain, who will give Pledge of Allegiance and a prayer, Dennis Alexander.
Would you please put your hand over your heart? Those military may give a hand salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you please remain standing for a prayer? Dear Lord, thank you for the goodness and mercy that we received today. We are here today to discuss topics that may move us forward. Come and take center stage of this meeting. Give us new ideas to stand ahead and shoulders together. Grant us the wisdom to make this meeting a productive one. Remove any distractions that may make this meeting unproductive. We stand with you, and we will to the end. Thank you, O Lord, for answering our prayers. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Dennis. I'd like to welcome all the dignitaries.
Rick, 1 second, please.
Sure.
There's a sound issue you're saying on Zoom or something like that?
Yeah, there was hearing sound outside of
All right, real briefly, I'll just keep talking, and I'll read this order of service because you gave this to us, and while to see if the sound's going. If not, I think it's going. Okay, well, there we go. You may continue, Rick.
I'd like to welcome dignitaries, honored guests, invited guests, and all of those who are here. Would you kindly stand and just state your name? honored guests, dignitaries.
Do you want me to call them out and then, because I have the list right here, and maybe they can come up and say something?
No, that's the organization. This was the dignitaries that I had invited to the event.
Okay.
Yeah. I see Chief Hobbs back there from the city of Clear Lake. I see Lou Bingham, Sheriff, Lake County. Any other honored guests, dignitaries? St. Elmo Mosby, Navy Corpsman, Vietnam veteran, Elmo. I see Steve Harrison, former Lake County resident, VA Veterans Justice Outreach social worker from Santa Rosa. There he is. Thank you for coming. Okay. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dave Wall-Smith, United States Marine Corps Vietnam veteran. We Serve Veterans Inc. president, and a whole host of other titles that he will explain to you. To give us our veterans mission overview and plaque presentation. Mr. Wall-Smith.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayo. In case you didn't hear, my name is Dave Wall-Smith.
Dave, if you can grab the...
because there's too much going on here.
Dave, if you can grab the microphone real quick.
No, I'm going to yell. Hoo-hoo. How about now? All right. Our mission is briefly to introduce several of these organizations and highlight the services they provide for Lake County veterans and our community as a whole. Today, we'll be presenting the Lake County Board of Supervisors with a Veteran Appreciation Plaque, as well as a plaque listing all Lake County veterans killed in action since World War I. After the presentation and program, the Lake County Military Funerals Honor Team will provide a Department of Defense authorized military funeral ceremony, followed by a rendering of taps. At this time, I'd like to ask veterans within the audience or on the board to please stand and be recognized. Brad. I was almost done. Now, any others who were or are or were married to a veteran or have other veterans in your family, please stand as well, and let's give them all a thank you and a round of applause. Now,
Plaque.
a plaque. That plaque.
This plaque.
All right. I don't know if anybody's seen this. They will.
So if you don't.
Board of Supervisors has always been, yeah, I forget that, sorry. Go ahead. We've always been treated pretty well by the Board of Supervisors. They respond to us over the years, look after us, and we thought it was more than appropriate to thank them. And we don't know how many times this has happened, but this is our first time. Hold it up. This is presented to the board in thanks and appreciation for everything they've done for the veterans in this county. That would be all of you. Thank you.
You want us to come down?
Cindy?
I got it.
Okay.
No, you're okay.
The board members are going to come down from the dais and surround you with the presentation. Yeah. You can do them together.
Quite a few years. All right, we're not quite finished. This plaque, as I mentioned before, lists all the KIAs that's killed in action in Lake County since World War I. their branch, their name, the date, etc. This will be posted out in the lobby on the Veterans Wall. And Cindy Sobel is a veteran of ours who helps us with all these good things. She's also very active in the museum.
Okay. This was a very special presentation. The local members and veterans of the community that died in action, especially Joy Medeiros, who was the first KIA killed in action from Lake County, spurred in Upper Lake. There's 29 other names of veterans, citizens, veterans in the community that is named in this plaque that all died from killed in action in the wars and died. So we're here to honor them. The ceremony outside will be honoring all of the KIAs from Lake County that was killed in action in all of the wars, regardless of whether their names is affixed to this plaque or not. We're going to honor all our veterans. Thank you.
Is that how you hold this?
Sure. No, please.
Do you mind if I read the names?
Please.
So I'm going to read off the names that I see here, dedicated to Lake County Killed in Action veterans. Jacinto Joy Medeiros from the Army, France, 1918, buried in Hartley, World War I. Freddie W. Myers of the Army, Washington, 1918, World War I. George W. Vanoni, 1918, World War I, from the Army. Archie M. Hendricks, the Philippines, 1942, World War II, of the Army. Kenneth L. Stedman, POW, Japan, 1942, World War II, U.S. Air Force. Herbert M. Wilson, Africa, 1943, WW2, Army. Miles Schnitzer, Italy, 1943, World War II, Army. Harmon O. Treadway, Iceland, 1943, World War II, Army. Eric C. Patterson, Guadalcanal, 1943, World War II, United States Marine Corps. Henry F. Wolfgram, England, 1944, World War II, Army. Marion L. Parker, France, 1944, World War II, United States Air Force. Richard L. Marston, 1945, World War II, United States Army. Donald Simpson, Italy, 1945, World War II, United States Army. Harvey R. Mosier, 1945, World War II, United States Air Force. Merrill C. Rannells, Okinawa, 1945, World War II, United States Marine Corps. Isaac J. Smith, Korea, 1953, United States Army. William Moore, Vietnam, 1965, United States Marine Corps. Neil Rasmussen, Vietnam, 1966, United States Army. Louis Groth, Vietnam, 1967, Hartley, United States Army. William S. Robertson, Vietnam, 1967, United States Army. Paul W. Hill, Vietnam, 1967, Hartley, United States Navy. David C. Lindbergh, Vietnam, 1967, United States Air Force. William E. Adams, Vietnam, 1968, United States Marine Corps. Darrell W. Schuster, Vietnam, 1969, United States Army. George L. Silva, Vietnam, 1969, United States Marine Corps. Robert Mills, Vietnam, 1972, United States Navy. Michael R. Connor, Persian Gulf, 1991, Hartley, United States Army. Ivan I. Wilson, Afghanistan, 2008, United States Marine Corps. David J. Hartman, Pakistan, 2010, United States Army. Richard Essex, Afghanistan, 2012, United States Army. And anyone else that's not on this list, we want to honor them as well.
I really don't know what to say. This is powerful. These are people who lost their lives for all of us. Some of them are a little bit more personal to me. As many of you know, I was born in France, and to hear of those who from Lake County were in France and lost their lives for my family, that means a lot. And so thank you everybody who served.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I'm still.
You are jumping.
Oh.
You're not back to 2024.
Sorry. All right.
At this time, I'd like to introduce our Lake County, California Veteran Organizations. First speaker, United Veterans Council, David Walsmith.
Been here before, haven't we? Veterans Council. Rather than try to tell you everything they do, I'm going to read the mission statement. I think it more clearly defines who they are, what their goals are, what their priorities are, and how they integrate all the rest of the affiliate organizations. The United Veterans Council of Lake County, California aims to support veterans, their families, and the military by providing information, resources, and advocacy. Their mission is to foster camaraderie and provide assistance to veterans, helping them navigate benefits, services, and support. A more detailed look at their mission and values includes support and honor. The Council's primary goal is to honor and support all veterans. Information and advocacy. They provide information about federal, state, local benefits and services, along with advocacy and professional assistance for veterans and their families. Community engagement. The Council fosters camaraderie among veterans and aims to serve the military and the broader community. Resource provision. They offer various resources, including information, referral services, and assistance for veterans and their families. Values. While the United Veterans Council of Lake County doesn't explicitly state core values in the same way some other organizations do, nonetheless, their actions and missions suggest they focus on support and advocacy, community, resourcefulness, and collaboration. In the future, should this event occur again, hopefully it will fall under the United Veterans Council. It was put together this year spontaneously. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Cindy Stovall, Joy Madero's Veteran Museum, Daryl Biddle, curator. Cindy.
Thank you. Thank you, Rick, for your perseverance and dedication to gather us all here today. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2018, Daryl Biddle, a veteran of the U.S. Navy, had a vision of a place where people could come to see what the world looked like through the eyes of all veterans. He started with a few items he had collected, found a place to house the items, and began the journey that led to the Joy Madero's Veterans Museum. Using information he gathered from the Genealogical Society and military records, he was able to create displays that would show Lake County moments in history. After opening, veterans and veterans' families began to bring in memorabilia from their time in the military. Along with a dedicated group of veteran volunteers, he was able to display those donated items in areas that the whole county would see. For instance, the Native American wall developed by veteran Robert Bell. Where is he? I lost him. Right there. The name of the museum came from the first soldier killed in action in World War I, as was read earlier. I'd like to read you now their mission statement for the museum. We are a trust for those who came before, a repository of veterans' history and veterans' artifacts. We will act as sponsorship of veterans events, conduct tours and educational outreach. We will act to preserve artifacts and documentation and to be the restorers of veteran history. We are to present them to the public that they may know the sacrifices that our veterans have paid through war and peace. For remembrance and education, may God bless our veterans. Thank you.
Thank you. Canartie American Legion Post 437, Rooster Commander.
Thank you very much for inviting me here. My real name is Ron Rignier, but I've been called Rooster for 30 years, and you can probably tell by the bird legs. Anyway, so our post does a lot of great things. Last year, along with all the rest of the veterans, about 20 grand worth of toys we gave away over in Clear Lake at the Legion. We also do other things, have a breakfast once a month. We house for $25 a day. We have the ABC group, which is behavioral kids, come in 3 times a week. We do other fantastic things, and we've done our food giveaway for the last 2 months. Veterans, we post at the VA clinic, and you can come down there and pick up canned goods, meats, and things like that. I've been with the organization about 3 years, proud to be in it. I was just relieved of my duties. Now I'm second in charge. Our commander couldn't be here, so I'm representing, and I'm just very proud to be a part of all of this. And thank you guys very much.
Clear Lake Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 2337, Earl Morehouse, Commander. Earl?
Hey. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. I put on each one of your desks a goal that we have. This explains it. I don't need to spend 2 minutes to do it. You have it in front of you. It is self-explanatory, and I can't thank you enough for having us here. As Rooster said, Rooster and I have been working together. He's past commander. I am the commander at 2337. We've been working together to support our troops. At times, they need a ride, and they don't have a ride. At times, they need $20 so they can get over to Santa Rosa. We get in the register and give them $20. They just pulled into town, don't have a place to stay. We put them in a hotel. So we at the VFW are in support of our troops. We're asking for your support also. That being said, thank you one and all.
Okay, Kelseyville American Legion Post 194, Mike Marshall, Commander. Mike?
Gentlemen and ladies, thanks for inviting us. I'm Mike Marshall, the commander of the American Legion, Treadway Post, like one of the names. Post 194. I've been the commander there for the past 10 years. Currently, we have approximately 70 active members. The age of the post is 105 years old, along with our good friend Gaylord Doc Stern, some of you people may know. He says hello. And of course, the Military Funeral Honors Team is part of our post. We hold annual Memorial Day services at the Kelseyville Cemetery. We lead the annual Pear Festival with our color guard. We are major sponsors of Boys and Girls State at $50 or $500 per student. We contribute to wreaths across America. We open the post building to community organizations and veterans groups and others like the Sea Scouts. We hold an annual 4th of July barbecue fundraiser. We participate in the Canocti Vista Casino 11-11-11, 11th day, 11th month, 11th day, and 11th hour, and Operation Tango Mike. We don't solicit donations, but are happily accept donations. Thank you.
Vietnam Veterans of America, Post 951, Dean Gotham, President. Dean.
Good afternoon. I'm Dean Gotham. I'm actually the past president and current treasurer. And I just want to give you a quick overview. Vietnam Veterans of America developed in the late 70s because Vietnam veterans were not getting their needs met at all. And another organization had to take over and do it. That's what Vietnam veterans were born in, and that's what we're continuing to do, particularly through legislation. That's what Vietnam Veterans of America is really known for, is their strict advocacy in legislation in support of veterans. For instance, the last PACT Act and the Mission Act, and going way back. Locally, we're over 20 years old. How do I say it? Our mission has changed. Age and the pandemic has severely affected our chapter. We can't meet where we used to. And we can't do a lot of the activities that we used to. For instance, for over a decade, we were the sponsor of Hartley Cemetery, Avenue of the Flags. Well, it got to the point where we had so many older people that they just couldn't physically do it. And we had to resign and let another organization take over. But that's just an example. We've been very active in the county, and I'm most proud of one of our achievements, which was bringing the Vietnam Veterans Moving Wall here to Lake County for everyone to experience. Additionally, we support our community with donations wherever we can. Operation Tango Mike, Lake County Sheriff's Association, Lake Family Resource Center, any number of organizations that we contribute to regularly. So our mission today has changed. And what we're doing now is we're supporting the Veterans Museum. We're participating in supporting the Pearl Harbor mast. We always are advocates for veterans. So any veteran that we come across who is in need of help, we will refer them, if not to the Veterans Office, to one of the other organizations who have set up. So currently, I would suggest that one of the most important things that we're still working on is legislation. For instance, right now, we've been fighting a battle in Congress over the Donut Dollies Congressional Gold Medal Act. Now, who are the Donut Dollies? These were American Red Cross women volunteers who went out into the bush in Vietnam to give a little taste of home to those guys who had been out in the bush for so long. This is the type of organization that we are. We support all veterans in whatever way we can.
Dean.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
Vet Connect of Lake County, Ken Shaw, President. Ken?
Mr. Chairman, Board, thank you very much for this opportunity to bring awareness of our mission and the veteran community as a whole. Vet Connect was originally part of United Veterans Council. It was founded by Rick Rice and Frank Parker roughly 15 years ago. Since that point in time, it has grown to into its own entity and is now its own 501c3. Our primary focus is helping homeless vets in finding housing and helping them reacclimate to society. A number of very unique circumstances that veterans face that we try to address on as direct a level as we possibly can. To that end, VetConnect has over the years done an annual stand down, which is an opportunity to get veterans in front of service providers, particularly CalVet. One of the organizations that we work very closely with is Nation's Finest. Vince is one of our most precious contacts. We also work with the VA Outreach, Will Van Zant, and I'm drawing a blank at the moment, Amanda Lopez, who work directly with VA, to assist them in making contact with homeless vets. We have a supply of gear that we draw out of a military reutilization depot in Sutter, Yuba. We maintain an inventory so that these guys don't have to go all the way to Yuba City to draw supplies. We now have a brick and mortar presence in the Willow Tree Plaza over by CBS and Safeway. That Safeway has done us a hell of a turn. They've set us up in that building and do a wonderful job of taking care of our needs. That said, that brick and mortar presence gives us an opportunity for creating a sense of community within the veterans community, where these guys know that they can come to air their dirty laundry in a safe environment. That in and of itself has grown exponentially over the last couple of years. Again, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to present this, and I'll move along now. Thank you.
Avenue of Flags, Mike Dean, President. Not here. Okay. Operation Tango Mike, Jenny Cravens, President.
Thank you for the opportunity. I doubt that anyone thought about driving over a roadside bomb on your way here, nor do you think that a rocket-propelled grenade is going to hit this building. It's because of our military. They're keeping us safe and free. Tango Mike sends care packages. Tango Mike translates to thanks much, and those packages are Lake County's offer of thank you to our troops. We're an all-volunteer 501c3, no paid staff, and we receive no government funding. We rely on donations and fundraising. Sergeant Gomez recently wrote, "We received your care packages and wanted to express how grateful we are for the effort that you guys put into these boxes of joy. They make us so happy." There have been times when we have also struggled with intense grief of loss. On 3 occasions, we have faced that excruciating ordeal. The pain of losing any service member is deep, but it's nearly unbearable when it's one of your own, a member of the Operation Tango Mike family. Standing on a tarmac holding a collapsing mother as her son's flag-draped coffin is unveiled is an experience that I would not wish upon anyone, but would not trade for anything. It was a profound honor. We have assisted 3 local families who lost their sons killed in action. Lance Corporal Ivan Wilson, Sergeant First Class David Hartman, and Sergeant Richard Essex. Denise Wilson, a Gold Star mother, said, "Packing parties have given myself and my son Nate a place to continue on in Ivan's memory. Each care package is like packing for him. I think of what he liked. The packing parties are a boost for volunteers, and we provide troops with a piece of home. Sometimes it's hard for me to go and know that I am a Gold Star parent, but then I think I still have much to give to those troops that are still with us." Families of our deployed troops find a welcoming and supportive group through Operation Tango Mike. There are anxious times waiting for news from the front lines. Occasions we share a laugh, sometimes tears, and always a needed hug or handshake. There's something very special about a community coming together for common good. Supporting our troops through cards, letters, and care packages has absolutely nothing to do with politics and everything to do with humanity. It's not about being Democrat. It's not about being a Republican. It's about being an American. The media will tell you about celebrities and political scandals, but they fail to recognize the service and sacrifice made by our troops and military families every single day. We are still sending care packages to Iraq. There has not been a month since 2003 we have not sent to boots on the ground in Iraq. Most people don't know that. I hope among those that are here today, Operation Tango Mike has somehow touched your life or some of your friends or your family and somehow made a small difference. Thank you for your time today and your kind attention. Please support our troops, honor our veterans, and never forget our fallen. Thank you.
Moose Lodge, number 2284, Dennis Alexander, Canocta American Legion, second vice president. Dennis.
Thank you very much for inviting us today. I'm Dennis Alexander. I'm the current chaplain of American Legion Post 437. I'm proud to say I'm a past commander of that post. Today I'm here to represent the Moose Lodge. We're a community-based organization, strictly social. I'd like to say that last night I put on a community service bingo for everybody in Lake County. We had a roaring great time. And tomorrow night I'm putting on a free veterans dinner for our veterans of Lake County. It's chicken surprise. It's a surprise if I don't burn it. It's a surprise if it tastes good. I invite everybody to come out. We have great music tomorrow night at the Moose Lodge. We support a children's home in Chicago and a retirement home in Florida. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dennis. Patriot Guard Riders, Patrick Panther, Commander, David Wall-Smith, Speaker.
I want to apologize for Patrick not being here. He had a previous commitment, a family commitment. We're going to, about time to move the team
Yes.
outside? No. Oh. How come you didn't ask him to speak?
Well, I haven't gotten to him yet.
Well, get over here and speak.
Sit.
What do you want me to do? Do you want me to sit and wait?
Yes, yes, after David gets
Give
done.
me the instructions. Bear with us, please. All right, Patriot Guard Riders. I don't know if you know who they are or not. They've been around since 2005. They currently represent about 162,000 members in Canada and America. The Patriot Guard Riders is a diverse amalgamation of riders and non-riders from across the United States and Canada. They share an unwavering respect for those who risk their lives for America's freedom and security. All participants are volunteers. To ensure that today's warfighters, service members from all military branches are treated with respect and dignity upon returning home. We have also expanded our services to include police and fire. This includes welcome home celebrations and funerals. Fallen hero funeral support services may include a flag line, escort, or other assistance to ensure that funeral services are carried out with dignity, honor, and respect a fallen hero and the family deserves. Welcome home and send-off events, flag lines, and greeters at airports, well-wishers at home, and escorts to and from airports and home. Help on the home front, providing a variety of support actions as may be required to help a veteran and the family through various difficulties. Also, the Fallen Warrior Scholarship Fund provides financial assistance for education. It doesn't matter what kind of motorcycle you ride or if you ride at all, or what your political views are, whether you're a hawk or a dove, whether you're a veteran or not. The only prerequisite is respect. A willingness to demonstrate respect and gratitude for the service and sacrifice of today's service members and for veterans of prior wars. Thank you.
Military Honors Team of Lake County, Boone. Stephen Boone, Speaker. Bob Perez, Commander.
Thank you, Richard, and thank you guys for having us here. My name is Stephen Boone. I'm an United States Marine veteran.
I am fortunate enough to be a member of the Military Funeral Honors Team of Lake County. And as a team, we perform a variety of services. We have team members who can unfurl the United States flag and then refold it into a funerary memento, which is the triangular shape that you see. The memento can be kept by the family and passed to future generations so that nobody forgets. We also have team members who will play taps, and we have members who will fire the traditional 3 volleys, signifying the laying to rest of an American warrior. These services help families cope with the loss and secure some closure from their loved ones, and a feeling they have given their loved one a proper burial and respect. So as we often say in the military, I'll see you in Valhalla. Thank you.
The Military Funeral Honors Team in Lake County has performed over 2,000 military funerals.
Good afternoon, Matthew Rothstein, Chief Deputy County Administrative Officer. I just want to say thank you, Mr. Mayo, and those who presented this afternoon, and all who are working to ensure Lake County's veterans are appropriately honored and connected with much-needed services. Your meaningful work is deeply appreciated, and what a privilege it is to be a part of this ceremony. Supervisor Sabatier shared some brief remarks, and Mr. Chair, if it pleases you to invite comments from other supervisors, now would be an appropriate time. And following your board's remarks, I'll introduce the next portion of our ceremony.
Excellent. Anybody from, go ahead, Vice Chair.
Well, we have an amazing group of organizations here in our county that support veterans, and just want to say I truly appreciate everything you guys do for our community and all the support you provide for not only our veterans, but also those that are still currently serving. So thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us today, but for also showing up every day. For we have an unusually high population of veterans in our county. It's something really special. It's something to be proud of. And I appreciate the services that you all show up and provide for them, and then we continue to support those that are actively serving now, and the support for their families.
I had the honor of getting to know some of our local veterans here. Of course, my son and my father both did serve overseas as well, which is Afghanistan War and the World War II. So you have no idea how much you mean to us, to America. When I say us, we would not have the freedom that we have today. And for those that were not treated properly by coming home from, say, Vietnam, that is such a huge black eye. And I hope we can write that. We wouldn't be here without you, going all the way back. So you have my greatest gratitude. Thank you.
So my grandfather served in Korea. He was an Army veteran. He was airborne, and he went to Korea with the 101st. For the Korean conflict. My uncle James, his son Junior, was in the Gulf War, the first Gulf War in Kuwait, and then that was with the 101st. I served with the 101st in OIF. I was in Q West, and I see someone else who was in Q West as well here. So not only that, I had a stepfather who was a Vietnam veteran in the Army. My uncle in the back is the United States Marine Corps. I see my friends here, Vince, who was in the Army as well. We went to school. We're really close friends. Bob was a helicopter mechanic just like me, and there's so many others. I know, Sheriff, your son is a 67 Romeo or a 15 Romeo now. He works on he does the same job that I did and that Bob did in Vietnam. So once you get back home and you start talking to everybody, you start realizing that you've crossed paths or crossed deserts or crossed jungles or whatever the case may be. And so you immediately know that you can joke a specific way, you can say specific things that you all understand, and you won't, it's just like talking a different language, and the camaraderie is already understood. And so the fact that all of you are here to support the veterans and their families, it just means so much. It's just like Jenny said, you have to, give that piece of home. And not only that, we have to honor that special thing that no one else commonly does, because veterans volunteer to go, right? And so I don't know, I just wanted to say those things, and I wanted to make some connections with different folks here, because we all have crossed the path, or our families have. So, and I just appreciate all the words that were said. Rick, as usual, thank you for putting this together and doing this work. The honors team, you guys have done so many different, funerals, but not only that, for one of my great uncles who was a World War II veteran, at the Robinson Rancheria Cemetery. So, I mean, just so many different aspects to everybody's honoring and serving, to not only aid, but then just volunteer. So I'll say that, and what I'll do too is right now I think we'll open it up to the public. If anybody wants to come up and say something, by all means come to the microphone and say anything you would like before we go on to the next item, which I think we will go, I'll give it back to Rick, and then he'll guide us outside, right? So if there's anyone from the public that would like to come up and say something, come on up.
My name's Michelle Moist. I came back from a DAV convention here, so I didn't really prepare because I just came from out of state at a convention. But I wanted to let everybody know that I started a women's vet group at Frick Hall that meets at night. It's just a crock pot, and it's to come and, bring women together to create that connection with fellow women who served too.
Thank you, Michelle. And Michelle was in Key West like 3 or 4 years after I was there. That's who I was mentioning. So
I was in Iraq, Balad, and Key West.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm a man of few words. Thank you. That's true. I'm here. I'm a Native American Vietnam veteran. I got started with the museum back in 2019, I think. Anyway, when I first went in, I asked Daryl, I said, "Where's the Native Americans?" He said, "That's what I'm trying to do. Do you know any?" And I knew of a couple of my family members had collected names and pictures and stuff of the veterans. So I went and talked to her. Her name is Mary, what is her name? Rosemary. Rosemary Watt.
Oh, yes.
And Ed Arnold. They got together information on 564 Native American veterans from Lake County and Mendocino County. And I was drafted, but when I went in, I became very proud, because I actually, in my heart, I felt that I was defending our homeland, our Native American homeland, our ancestral homeland, all you guys, homeland, and this is why I was proud to do that. And I want to thank you all for being proud of us. Thank you.
And that's Robert Bell. For the record, it's Robert Bell. We call him Bob Bell, but Robert Bell. All right.
Still good? Okay.
Come on up, Matthew. I think Matthew was going to go, and then...
Just wanted to just interrupt a minute. In my opening statement, I forgot to mention that I served in the U.S. Army, Vietnam era, and I'm also a member of the Military Funeral Honors Team of Lake County. Matthew.
Thank you for your service, Rick. Again, Matthew Rothstein, Chief Deputy County Administrative Officer. In approximately 10 minutes, on the front courthouse steps, a Department of Defense authorized military funeral ceremony will commence honoring Lake County's veterans killed in action. Our deepest thanks to the Military Funeral Honors team of Lake County for facilitating that ceremony today. Before we head outside, I'd like to ask all of those who made presentations today and the members of our board up on the dais to gather around Rick Mayo and with the plaques that were presented to the Board of Supervisors today for a quick photo opportunity. I know we have Ms. Chen from Lake News and a couple of other photographers here in the room today, as well as the county staff. So we'd appreciate having that quick opportunity. And then once that photo is taken, those who are gathered here in the front of the chambers can be allowed to process out of the chambers first, that will allow an orderly transition to where we'll be heading out to the courthouse front steps for those military honors, the military funeral ceremony. So again, if those who made presentations and members of the board, if you can gather around Mr. Mayo for a picture opportunity first, and then we'll head outside.
No, you can't sit in Rick's lap.
All right, welcome back. So we're going to now go on to our closed session, our last closed session item of the day, 9.1, our 230 public employee appointment pursuant to Government Code Section 54957B1, interviews for public health officer, appointment of public health officer. With that, we'll go into closed session, and thank you for joining with us today on the Board of Supervisors meeting, and we will see you next time.